Hello everyone, we are back again with a new video, and this time we have a new series as well. It's called Business Breakdowns, where we take one business idea and we sort of break it down. But instead of just giving you a perspective from one angle, we want to do it with two perspectives. One where we talk about the ups and the good things going for the business, and the downs and the things that are not so good for the business as well. And to give a different perspective than my own, we have here with us Aakanksha as well.
Hey folks.
So she'll be giving the other perspective. And today we are going to be taking one business case I'm sure you're already aware of, which is quick commerce. Is quick commerce the next big thing, or is there something fundamentally wrong with how quick commerce works? So let's get straight to the video. Aakanksha, before I even discuss quick commerce, I want to share a personal example, right? I think about a year or year and a half ago, I had this moment, right? So I was preparing tea for myself. And I remember I had the water to boil and I was looking for ginger because I want to make some kadak chai, I just want to spice it up. But I didn't find the ginger. So I was like, okay, fine, let me fire up Zepto. I had Zepto on my phone, but I never used it extensively. And I ordered ginger, and then I was thinking, okay, it's going to take a while. Let me actually, get to work, finish something that was on my plate. And so I was opening my laptop, getting on a work call. I was thinking, okay, this is going to take some time. Let me, do something else on the side. And before I could open my laptop, I remember I had the delivery on my doorstep, right? It almost felt like the guy was just standing outside my hall and sort of waiting to deliver this ginger for me. It was like 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
And that's when I truly realized the value and utility of quick commerce and how it's going to dominate my life, right? Because if I can get stuff delivered in 4 or 5 minutes, right, which is the case with most of my deliveries at least, I'm like, quick commerce has a massive role to play. And this must be a massive use case for most people in India, right? This must be the next big thing. So I'm just wondering, and I'm sure that you use quick commerce as well. So how can you have a contrasting perspective? What different perspective can you bring? I'm sure quick commerce is useful, right?
So I won't deny it. I do use quick commerce. I probably use it 2 to 3 times a week.
Right.
But my point is, you and I don't really represent the whole of India. I'm sure you remember we put out a chart from Finshots. It was based on the World Inequality Report.
Yeah, the pyramid, yeah.
Yeah, the pyramid. So we probably make up the top 10% of India. You probably make up the top 1% of India. So something that's a frequent use case for you and me can't be a game changer for the whole of India. So that's what I believe. And based on that, I feel that their valuation is extremely excessive when they're just catering to a small niche. For example, Zepto is currently valued at $3.6 billion and they're reportedly raising another round at $5 billion. I feel like their valuation is extremely excessive at the current moment, especially when they're not even profitable. So I don't think it's a game changer for the whole of the country.
Right. So let's talk about their valuation, right? I agree that $5 billion on paper for Zepto, a company that's only 2.5 years old, 3 years old, we seem excessive. I'm not going to deny that. But look at some of the other numbers as well, right? Yeah. So Zepto is currently valued at $5 billion, but it's already doing $1 billion in sales, according to the latest interview, right?
Okay.
Now, for a 2.5-year-old company to do $1 billion in sales, like no other company in India has ever done that in such a short period of time. Yeah. Not even Flipkart, for instance, right? And the bigger question here is, can Zepto justify the valuation in terms of opening new opportunities? Because if there are more opportunities, sure, the income will come. And I believe that at some point they will turn profitable, just as Zomato did, right? And my whole thesis is that there are more than enough opportunities for the likes of Zepto to pounce upon. For instance, I read a report that said that this market right now is already worth $45 billion, right? And quick commerce has just captured 7% of it, right? So there's a lot of room for growth there. And when it comes to things like profitability, for instance, let me give you a simple use case, right? So I order chicken from Zepto, from quick commerce companies. And recently when I looked at, I think maybe not recently, maybe 6 months ago, when I looked at Zepto and tried to find my usual go-to poultry company, which was Nandu's, I found that there was one brand called Relish that was slightly cheaper, 10% discount. So I'm like, let me try it once. If it's good, I'll keep ordering. If it's not good, fair enough. I lost, a little bit of money. It's okay. And it was okay. It was not bad, right? And since then, I've been ordering Relish. And I never really thought to consider who promoted Relish. And recently, I found out that it was Zepto's private brand, right? And it's already at an annual revenue run rate of 500 crores. Just for context, Licious, another popular meat delivery company, was, I think they did 800 crores or 750 crores in sales last year, and it took them 8 years to do that. Right? So I'm saying that there's ample opportunity for growth and the profitability will come. So the valuation isn't all that bad.
Sure, quick commerce companies can make money out of private labels, but private labels are not exclusive to them. Even big box retailers like D-Mart or More or even Tata Star, they have their own private labels. But if you just try to break down the business model of a quick commerce company, you'll realize that they incur a significantly higher cost in their operations as compared to, say, a big box retailer. For example, for a big box retailer, all they need is just one store and they need a few folks manning the aisles and maybe a few folks on the counters. But if you compare this to a quick commerce company, they'll need to have multiple dark stores in an area. A dark store is like a place where they store all their SKUs, and they'll also need multiple people within the dark stores who are helping out these delivery drivers. And since the fact that quick commerce companies promise delivery within 10 minutes, they'll need multiple dark stores in an area, and this is significantly going to increase their cost. Now, if you look at the fact that right now, what is driving this whole momentum in quick commerce, and I feel it's the substantial bit of discounting that's happening. And that's what happened with food delivery, right? Players like Zomato or Swiggy were growing at a significantly high rate, but now their growth has also plateaued. And I feel this is because the discounts went away from those platforms. And I think this is also going to happen to the quick commerce players.
Right. So a couple of interesting points there, but let me address the point about Zomato's growth rates, right? Eating out is not like a daily thing for most people in India, right? Yes, bachelors will probably want to eat outside, and if you're being paid well, sure, you'll probably order from Zomato almost every single day. But most families in India do not order from Zomato every single day, or at least that's not a use case. In fact, as India transitions to become a more healthy country, I think people will generally not want to order from Zomato as frequently as possible. Whereas with quick commerce, that's the exact opposite, right? Most people will want to get their groceries on a bi-weekly basis or perhaps even a daily basis for some people, right? And even my mom, for instance, who's in Bangalore, they don't have access to Zepto or any quick commerce apps there, but she will still call her local grocer, I think at More, and she'll tell, look, I want these items delivered to me maybe by today or tomorrow, and they'll do it for her, right? It's just a matter of Zepto probably entering these markets. And so I don't think the use case is the same. I think grocery is a more frequent purchase, and I think the market opportunity for that is also substantial.
I agree that grocery is a relatively more frequent use case as compared to food delivery. But have you seen this tweet where Zepto was selling 100 grams of coriander for 130 rupees? Would your mom buy that?
No. I think that was a glitch, but I agree that maybe prices are slightly elevated. Fair enough, right?
Yeah, so basically prices of everything on quick commerce are at a premium of almost 20 to 25%. And if you see the kind of brands that are housed on quick commerce, they're also in the premium segment. If you see ice creams, you have Go Slow, and you have, I think, something called Slow Churn. Right. If you see the kind of chips you have Max Protein, or if you see the kind of chocolates or something you have the whole truth. So these are all very premium brands which are just catering to a small niche. I don't think your mom or my mom would buy these products. I don't think my mother would buy like a 150 rupee chocolate bar, which is just 20 or 30 grams. So when I see this, I feel like quick commerce is just catering to a small niche. And I don't think there would be any point for them operationally or otherwise where they could compete with big box players like, say, D-Mart or More or things like that.
Right, fair enough. I agree that prices on Zepto or other quick commerce apps right now are probably slightly higher, and it's not for the value conscious consumer, at least in India, which is most of India. But my bet is that as the company grows and they can leverage economies of scale, right, that these massive differences in prices will dissipate. Let me give you a simple example. For instance, Zepto doesn't run all of its stores independently, right? Right now, it has local small-time entrepreneurs who are running the stores, who are setting up the stores and managing inventory, etc. on Zepto's behalf, and then they take a small commission on sales, right? So they're trying to find the right business model that works for them in terms of cost as well. And also, I think that as Zepto grows larger in size, or even quick commerce company grows larger in size, they'll have better leverage with distributors and manufacturers as well. This is why DMart can offer better value, because they purchase in bulk, right? And I think when these companies get to that level, get to that scale, I think that they will be able to extract more value from producers and distributors and manufacturers. So the difference in prices, I believe, will slowly dissipate. And I think the prices that you see right now on Zepto or any quick commerce app is a reflection of the current economics, right? I think as and when they start making better margins on certain products or venturing into certain product categories where there's more money to be made, I think they'll repatriate some of these gains back to consumers. And at that point in time, I believe that these companies will be for value conscious consumers as well.
I really agree, and I like the point that you're making, that over time with scale, they'll be able to leverage better costs with their suppliers, and maybe they could give a better value to the customers who are coming to them. But there's another threat that's looming over all these quick commerce companies, and I feel that it's the fact that there's a very low barrier to entry in quick commerce. Anyone with a fleet on the ground can actually turn into a quick commerce companies, and you're actually seeing that happen. Meesho is starting its own quick commerce. Amazon is starting it. Flipkart is starting it. Even Ola is restarting it. If you check the Ola app, you can actually order groceries from there. So I feel like this is going to lead to price wars, where companies will have to keep discounting the prices to be able to acquire customers. I think only customers are going to win here. It's going to be a place where only customers are getting the value, but it's going to be very difficult to build a sustainable business.
Right, fair enough. I think competition will force some of these players to reevaluate their entire existence within the quick commerce space. But I think what it will come down to is who's better at execution, right? And I think if the likes of Zepto, Blinkit, or even Instamart, who have first mover advantage, can execute really, really well, what you'll see is the kind of scenario that we saw in the food delivery space, right? Where Zomato and Swiggy now dominates the entire space and everybody else is gone. So maybe in the future, you will see that 2 or 3 players will dominate the industry. And maybe then you will finally start seeing that the valuations are actually justified.
Fair enough. You can have your opinion that quick commerce valuations are justified and it's the next big thing in India. But I'll have my counter opinion and I'll leave it up to the audience. Why don't you guys tell us in the comments, is quick commerce going to be the next big thing, or is it just a fad? You can let us know who won this discussion or debate of sorts. And don't forget to subscribe to Finshots TV. We are going to be extremely consistent from now on with our videos. We're going to push out one long form video every week. You can also suggest topics on which we should do a business breakdown like this. And wait for our next video. See you on the other side. Bye.